Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. There's a small contingent of black men and black women in this country who take the most important intangible we are all given for granted, and that is our freedom. Now, this small contingent of black males and black females, they have grown up in dysfunctional environments like single mother households, and because they have grown up in these single mother households in the welfare state, what happens is they get an institutionalized mindset. And this institutionalized mindset basically turns these black males and black females into modern day slaves who are looking for the system to tell them how to live and what to do. And as they get caught up in this institutionalized mindset, what happens is they wind up on the road to becoming slaves, either in white supremacy's corporate American complex, white supremacy's welfare state, or white supremacy's prison industrial complex. And instead of them going out here and living the abundant life that the Most High has for them, what happens is that these black males and black females wind up on a road to hell because they wind up taking the most important intangible for granted, and that is their freedom. Now, many of these black males and black females, again, they grow up learning this whole culture from their single mothers or dysfunctional fathers. They learn that they have to go out here and follow in the footsteps of their parents. And as they're following in the footsteps of their parents, what they're doing is just going out here and repeating the vicious cycle of self-destruction. And many of them, again, take their freedom in this country for granted, and instead of looking to use their freedom as a tool to empower themselves, what happens is that they start to get in their feelings whenever they see another black man or black woman having any sort of success. And because they see another black man or another black woman going out here and empowering themselves, what happens is they start to get into the same type of dysfunctional mindset that the slaves had during the days of your antebellum South, and they look to tear down that person who is using their freedom to empower themselves, and they go out here and actually become modern day crabs in a barrel. And instead of them appreciating the freedom that they have and using the freedom that they have as a tool to go out here and empower themselves, what they do is use their freedom to try to take away the power from another black man or take the power away from another black woman. And they do this because they feel jealous that this person is using their personal power and they're using their freedom to move themselves forward in this country. But because they feel powerless due to the mindset of your institutions messing with their frame of thinking, they look, instead of trying to help learn from that person building themselves up, they look to go out here and tear another person down. And again, they do this because they do not appreciate the freedom that is given to them, because in their mind, the only freedom that they can have is by being on this modern day slave plantation known as the welfare state, or the modern day corporate or prison industrial complex. And because they can't come out of that frame of thinking, they look to destroy another black person who they see having some sort of success, because they believe that that person is somebody who is an anomaly as related to their smooth world, and they don't want to be held accountable to that standard of success, because they want to remain in that world that is smooth, where there is a white person who's over everything, because the whole idea of seeing a black person taking power that is a threat to their world. And it's a threat to their world because, one, somebody is going to hold them accountable to a different standard, and two, they actually have to deal with the whole idea of going out here and being on their own. And it's that whole concept of seeing a black person on their own that terrifies many of those who have that whole industrialized mindset as related to being a part of the institution. These people, they get terrified at the idea of black people being out here and being responsible for themselves, because the whole idea of a black person who has a free mind and is free scares them, because they are dependent on the things that they receive from the system as related to the institutions, whether it be corporate America, whether it be the welfare state, or even the prison industrial complex. They are used to getting their daily bread met by this white person that they have deified and imagined in their minds. And the whole idea of a black person going out here and trusting in the Most High God to provide for their needs, this is something that is foreign to them. And it's foreign to them even though many of the black females go to the church. Yes, they go to the church looking for the blessings. However, they have no faith to put with their work. So that's why many of them, even though they go to the church with the black pastor, are spiritually dead, because many of these people, what they are, again, are slaves to a system. And because they see another black person doing well, what they do is get angry and upset, and they want to lash out at that other black person instead of taking that critical look at themselves and seeing what they can do for themselves, because in their mind they can't do anything unless it falls within the confines of the institutions such as the welfare state or your corporate America or your prison complex. Many of these people's minds are completely damaged, and they think that they're functioning fine, but they're living in dysfunction because they have all of the tools for them right there. But instead of taking advantage of the tools that are there, what they do is go out here and look to follow the programs that the white supremacists have put in front of them, such as criminal enterprise. And because they're following the white supremacist whole program, they again wind up on a paradigm of failure, and they don't really see how they're falling into this paradigm because they take their freedom for granted. Because again, under our United States Constitution, we all have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness under our United States Constitution, and we are given freedoms under our Constitution. Unfortunately, in the black community, we have a small contingent who don't want black people to have their freedom, and because they don't want black people to have their freedom, they do everything to go out here and oppress other black people, whether it be going out here and participating in campaigns of terrorism like the bullying some children receive, or the campaigns of harassment that other middle-class blacks receive when they are in a neighborhood working and making money. These are all things done to undermine black success, because we've got many black people whose only mindset of success is this mindset that the institution is the only way to go out here and receive success. And again, this mindset was something that was programmed into black people's minds over the last 50 years as black women became a part of the feminist movement, and as they taught this culture to their sons, who became the Pookies and the Ray Rays, and taught it to their daughters, who became the Sharkeishas, what happened was these parents wound up teaching dysfunction, and instead of them going out here and looking to encourage another brother or sister to work towards success, we have black people going out here, a small contingent, looking to work to undermine the success of another black person, and looking to go out here and believe that being a bootlick who submits to white supremacy is success, and believing that going out here and tearing down other brothers and sisters this is success. This is how dysfunctional their mindset is, and it's really troubling because when you look at all of the other people in the world, whether they be whites or non-blacks, they will go out here and appreciate the freedom that is given to them, and because they have a mindset that sees themselves as free here in America, what they do is take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of them because they do not have an institutionalized mindset, because it's that institutionalized mindset that undermines the success of many foundational black Americans over the last 50 years, because our grandfathers and great-grandfathers, when they were starting black-owned businesses, they did not have this institutionalized mindset, and they did not go out here and believe that they needed to depend on an institution. No, they believed they could go out here on their own, even though there was white supremacy, even though a lot of the jobs they got were not these big-time executive jobs. A lot of black men and women went out here and put in work, and they put in work because they had faith in the Most High to provide for their needs, and they appreciated the freedom that was given to them in this country. But what's really sad is after the Emancipation Proclamation of 1865, we have people here in 2022 who do not appreciate their freedom, and because they do not appreciate their freedom, they are prisoners even though they are free, and these prisoners are out here looking to be the Bubba and Tiny on the block, looking to go out here and try to make people trade their freedom for Little Debbie snack cakes and ramen noodles in a virtual prison. And again, they have the prisoner mindset, even though they're not in prison at all. And again, it's all due to that whole institutionalized mindset that they grew up learning in those single mother households. And it's those mindsets that really mess up that small contingent of black people that make them a threat to the larger population of brothers and sisters who are out here looking to go out here and build their lives. Because what's really disturbing is these individuals will go out here and look to do harm to another black man who's just out here trying to make a living, or another sister out here who's trying to make a living, but they won't go out here and have any sort of smoke for many of the people who are exploiting their community and taking $3.3 trillion right out of their community in cash and credit. These same people will get upset over a black man having a good job, or going out here and driving a nice car, or a sister going out here and having a family with a husband. They will get mad at those black people for living well, but they won't get mad at the foreign store owners who own most of the businesses in their community. They won't get upset about the politicians who bring no tangibles to black people. No, they have all of this anger and frustration because they feel powerless in the presence of a white or a non-black person, but they won't go out here and lift a finger to support the brothers and sisters who are out here looking to build and improve the quality of life in their own community. And that is the most troubling thing about your black folks who have this whole institutionalized mindset. They don't see how they are their own worst enemy, because all of the plotting and planning that they do against other foundational black Americans works to their detriment, because what they do is go out here and push all of the brothers and sisters with good jobs out of their community. They go out here and push all the brothers and sisters out here looking to build out of their neighborhood, and that prevents them from going out here and improving the quality of life in their neighborhood, prevents them from having any sort of good jobs in their neighborhood where black people are working. And what happens is that other whites and non-blacks come in and move all of the black people out of those areas, like what Kid Organic talked about as related to what happened to black people in South Central, and what I saw happen myself to black people in the South Bronx. Most of those areas are now Hispanic areas, and they're Hispanic areas because We had a bunch of black folks who had an institutionalized mindset, and because they were more dependent on the institution used its institutional racism to push those foundational black Americans out of neighborhoods that their grandparents and great-grandparents built, and what they were left with was a neighborhood that no longer is theirs because they were never taught to take their freedom and appreciate their freedom. And when you appreciate your freedom, you look to protect what is yours, you look to preserve what is yours, you look to take care of what is yours, because if you don't take care of your freedom, you won't be able to take care of your community. And if you don't take care of your freedom, what happens is people will take your freedom from you. And that's sadly what happens to a lot of black people due to the crabs in the barrel, whether they be the small contingent of hoods types like Pookie and Ray Ray and Sharkeisha, or the elite type blacks like those who wear the big suits. They both look to take away black people's freedom because black people don't really understand the concept of freedom and how to use your freedom to go out here and empower yourself. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, novels like The Thetas and Eternal Night and A Recipe for Success, or my men's issues books, you can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today.